We're testing. Hello, hello, hello to all my beautiful people. So I'm just testing today to see what it would be like to speak in English again on my old English channel. Because I started this 16 years ago in English in Paris, and I used to always say, "Welcome to Paris from my terrace." Because I have a super poetic side to me. Kudos to the world. Kudos to the creator. Kudos to the coder, the great coder. Cougars. Kudos to the cougars. You see, I have my poetic side. And when I came through into this incarnation, this incudonation, well, it was the Anglo. And apparently, the English that is spoken in the US of A sounds more like what would have been Shakespearean English. Not that that's better or worse or whatever. That doesn't matter. And this is something that's really huge for me, is that I really love thinking in threes. Thinking in threes. When I say thinking in threes, in French, I say trinité toujours. Trinité toujours, thinking in threes. Three is in English. Three, trois, trinité en français. So I'm just testing to see what happens if I speak in English, if I'll get some viewers or people or whatever. And it's all good. It doesn't matter because today is Wednesday at 11:11 instead of my Tuesday or Friday official stuff. And it doesn't matter. I like to explore anyway. And I really appreciate those who come, those who go, those who like, those who share, those who do whatever they want to do. I always ask people to share the videos. And with the idea of sharing, that means that they've looked at it themselves, hopefully. And preferentially, I would appreciate it if people looked at it more than once, because if they look at it several times, then they can see that maybe there's a lot going on, because I do have a very mosaic style. Today is the 15th of January, which is a birthday to someone who's in my heart someplace, so happy birthday. But 15th of January is the 15th, which is the Ides of whatever month. And the Ides was dedicated to Zeus, to Jupiter. In the Latin Roman times, it was Jupiter. So the Ides of March, everyone's heard of the Ides of March. That was actually on Jupiter Day. This is the Ides of January, which is nowadays the first day of the first month of the year, which is, whatever. It is what it is. So as I'm speaking in English, which is my native language, remember I came from California. I left California, though, when I was 17. I was off. I wanted to go see the world. There were a couple hundred countries, apparently, more or less, whatever. And I wanted to go see them all. And after traveling a lot and being able to stay in many countries for an extended period of time, because I actually like to live with the locals for a while, I was very blessed. I was super lucky to be able to go in and live with locals in a lot of different places. So I counted this up recently, and I've been to over 50 countries, and I've lived in 10 different countries. It's amazing, huh? I've lived in, fortunately, I was able to live in, the US, France, Spain, Italy, Germany, Denmark, Mexico, Netherlands, Spain, did I say Italy? And India. So maybe that's 11. South Africa, too. I also spent a couple months down in South Africa, which is where I wrote my first book, which is called Pay Yourself First. I don't like to advertise for other stuff, but hey, let's just be honest. If you have Amazon Prime, you can go get my book, Pay Yourself First, for free. The problem is, if people don't pay for stuff, they aren't going to invest the mental energy to get out what they really need. That's just, it is what it is. There are exceptions, of course. I hope you're an exceptional person. Go to Amazon and look up the work by this very same channel, Lucralover, Pay Yourself First, and Protonic Speaking. Amazing. Protonic Speaking is it's a magnum opus. It seriously is one of the best books out there, bar none. It's amazing. I'm very blessed to have birthed that book. I'm the lucky man who got to write the book, Protonic Speaking. It doesn't matter. You know, we all have to be proud of something in our life. And that is, besides my children, to this point, my greatest accomplishment. I mean, actually, the life I've been able to live, thankfully, has been huge. I'm just super blessed, super thankful. I mean, think about it. I'm this young boy in California that that wanted to go see the world. And it started thanks to foreign exchange students, which is one of the reasons why I also recommend everyone goes and lives in a foreign country for at least 1 year. Thanks to foreign exchange students. So how did this manifest or happen or whatever? Well, I had a buddy, and you know, after school we'd go to his house. He was a little bit older, and his girlfriend was German, and I loved her accent. Then we had a gorgeous young English gal come through the school, and I heard her accent. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, wow. You know, as a boy, a young man with lots of testosterone, I was already, you know, kind of not so for the ladies, and that's okay. But what happened was when I heard her accent, I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm in Southern California, right? And so then we had this Danish guy show up, Jens. Jens, I don't know how, he just happened to make it into my little high school clique, where there was me and my four buddies. We were, you know, there was four of us, right? Really two and two, but we were four. Anyway, Jens happened to join us on several occasions, and he would make us laugh. He would tell us jokes in Danish. We didn't have a clue what he was saying. And we would laugh at his jokes. And he taught us two very important words as high school students. Jomfru Ul, which meant virgins and beer. Very important for high school students to understand. Oh, adolescence, teenage years, you gotta love it. So anyway, as things went on with time or whatever, and with the situation it's not that I was in a bad situation, but we didn't have money, and I thought that becoming a millionaire was one of my solutions. And at the same time, fortunately, I don't really think men are good at multitasking. That said, we can do one thing and we can do it someplace else. Now think about this. Because at the same time we can imbibe ourselves with some information, we can kind of absorb whatever it is around us. We could also be doing what we came to do. So this is really pertinent information. If you can capture this, this is actually amazing. This really is. If one can transport themselves into another country, for example, and concentrate on something else, they will be able to absorb the culture. They get some of the classical things that come from immersion. They will get the culture, okay? They start sensing the culture, because we have feelers. We are like octopuses. We have all these feelers. People always talk about the five senses. I don't want to say that it's a lie. What I want to say is it's a starting point. It's a starting point. It's as they say in Greek, it's a sekinima, okay? And I don't speak Greek well enough, but it's a sekinima. And a sekinima, what is a sekinima? It's like a departure. It's a starting. It's a point of departure. So for example, it's easy to critique the old school system that most of us came through. It doesn't matter what country we came through some sort of school system that, although they taught us a bunch of stuff we'll never use, it also did, fortunately, teach us how to read, how to write, and how to do arithmetic. The basic three things that we need, okay? hopefully taught us some other stuff, but if it didn't teach us, we at least have the basis for ourselves to go back into our little brains. And yes, we were probably brainwashed, and that's okay. We can rewash our brains ourselves, and we can restructure the way we want to be, think, and do, and live and enjoy life. Oh, I love the airplanes, and that's like a Raptor or something like that. That's a military jet. Anyway, so it's up to us. It is up to us to go forth, go out. I mean, the word I'm saying right there is Genesis. Think about the Bible. The word Genesis is in the beginning, right? In the beginning. Okay, so cool. It doesn't matter. We have to start someplace. So at some point, if we decide to start, well, one of the things that we do is we become responsible. We appreciate all it is. I'm going to write this down. This is beautiful. Responsible and appreciation. Responsible. Because even when I talk to this, I'm also inspiring myself. Appreciation. Appreciate what is, was, and will be. And then, of course, we now get to systematize our life. And the reason I use the word systematize is because realistically, everything is some sort of like system, like a sequence, like a pattern, like a scheme, a schematic, right? Like a show, even. I mean, think about anyone that's going to do a movie, they are going to have storyboards, right? There's storyboards, right? There's a certain sequence of the movie. I mean, there are some books that we could take and we could read from any, or we could just go open up on any page. Actually, my book, Protonic Speaking, is one of the books where we can just pick it up at any page and we could read and we can be inspired. But there are certain things that actually have a certain sequence. There are things that need a real live sequence in life. And sequencing is actually a good thing. Because, for example, even when someone is making a recipe in the kitchen, if they put the eggs in the pan and start cooking it, but they didn't crack the eggs yet, we mess things up. And it's simple little stuff in the sequencing of life that allows us to gather, garner, and gain and have the results that we want. So we have to be more realistic. So realistic is a great word. I love the word RAS. So realistic is very nice, and I love the word realize, realistic. I'm also working on. I'm always working on words. I'm a wordsmith. I'm a poet. I'm a nomenclateur, as they used to say in the old Roman days, which is literally. And I love the Franco American grasp of life that I now have. The fact that I am absolutely, absolutely polyglot, tricultural, whatever we want to call it, but the fact that I can access different cultures, that I can access different languages is amazing. So just take the word CRIER. In English, that's a crier, right? A crier, a yeller, a caller outer, someone that it comes from the clator in Latin. Clator. Clator was someone that called out, that yelled. So we could think of like a fish crier, right? The one, hey, and we go to the markets and we hear someone that's always screaming out, to shout out, right? So that's a crier. But if we take the same CRIER in French, that means crier, which could be crier, cry out, crier, shout. It's the same word. So this is the beauty of it, but there's a different context of it because a crier is the person doing. Crier is the verb. There's such a huge, going back to English to actually relearn English now that we know how to speak English and now that we've studied English, we know how to speak, we know how to write, we need to read, we do the math or whatever. These three things, reading, writing, and arithmetic, are huge. It's a super basis. And why is reading, writing, and arithmetic a huge thing? Is something to dwell on. Because it's great for me to tell, but if you personally, if you question why are reading, writing, and arithmetic very powerful things? Why? Why? If we can start reflecting ourselves on certain things, it can also help us to discover where we need to go. Why we need to go is even more important sometimes than the where we need to go. But the idea that we have some sort of aim, some sort of direction is a wonderful thing. And then, of course, we don't have to do anything in this life. All we have to really do is breathe. Breathe, eating who knows how many meals per day because, it seems like we have been fed so much. We've been fed so much false information, and it's all good. It doesn't matter. It's up to us. How long do we want to be victims of the state? How long do we want to be like martyrs of mama and papa? I mean, come on. At some point, we have to shed, you know, just out of the shower. We have to shed ourselves. We have to come back to who we are and where we are. We have to have better ideas. We have to come into contact with more of life, or we don't. We don't have to do anything but breathe, right? And eat, breathe, eat, and be merry. What's this? What's the saying? Breathe, eat, and be merry. Anyway, I think we also need to sleep. Does Does someone talk about sleep? No, most people, when I hear them a lot during the day, oh, je suis tellement fatigué. Oh, I'm so tired. I live in France, right? So I hear this all the time. Oh, I'm so tired. Yeah, you're tired because you're not living. It's simple stuff. I feel so blessed and so thankful that when I wake up, I am energized. It could be from the sleep. It could be from the fact that I was able to eat the day before. It could be from the fact that, for example, for the last 16 years, you can't see it, that's okay. I've got these little books where I just write down my gratitude. I always try and get a pretty little notebook or whatever. I don't know, sometimes they're 20 euros, sometimes they're 40, sometimes they're 60. The one I bought, because this one's almost done, I just bought a new one the day before yesterday, it was 20 euros. Okay, but this one I started on 4/4/2024. Okay, so on 4/4/2024 I wrote, I am grateful for my guitar and musica. I'm thankful for my books, haikus, and videos. I'm thankful for eating well and coffee. I'm thankful for my children, etc., etc. So I write down things that I'm thankful for. And today is the 15th of January, and I wrote, I am grateful for Jupiter Day. I am grateful for the delicious honey I eat. So hey, it could be simple, super simple stuff. But imagine 16 years now. If there are 365 days a year on average, and I write 360 times in my little book, well, I mean, come on, let me just see what that means. I'm just going to give you a little calculation. Let's see, times 360, I'll just say 360 times 16 equals, that's 5,760 days of writing down every day anywhere from 3 to 20 things that I'm thankful for. So if I just even average that, let's just say 10 times a day, times 10, just to keep the math simple, that's 57. Let's just say I've written down 50,000 things that I'm grateful for. Even if a lot of the times it repeats itself. I'm thankful for water. I'm thankful for the sun. I'm thankful for having a pen. I'm thankful for having many pens and many notebooks because I love to write and because I am an author and I love to just be inspired. And here's another one. And I got another one still. Look at you see all the different colors, right? So, yeah. So if we look for things that we can be grateful for, if we look for things that we can be grateful for, if we look for things that we are grateful for, if we look for things that we've been grateful for, the fact that we keep on seeking this thing called gratitude, that helps us, well, it rhymes with our attitude, our beatitude. I mean, come on, we really are blessed to be here at this time in this super juncture of galactic goings-ons. Who knows what's happening? I mean, who really knows if there was a big bang, if there was a computer programmer, or if there really was God, or if there was some other thing that we could not even perceive or conceive of. Whatever the reality is, somehow we're here. And so somehow there may be meaning, or maybe there's not meaning, or maybe there's meaning if we give it meaning, or maybe there are so many possibilities. I mean, there's a plethora of possibilities. There are myriad ways that we could look at how whatever this little thing is that we're calling life, this reality that we're in. And one of the most beautiful things is that we have choice. And the fact that we have choice, we get to become responsible. We get to actually be the people that are going to do what we need to do, because I think that somehow there's a beautiful word in Sanskrit. It's called dharma. It rhymes with karma. Actually, I think they go together. But dharma is when we are somehow giving of ourselves, and I'm interpreting, it's in Sanskrit, so that was, thousands of years ago. But anyway, dharma is when we're somehow giving of ourselves to become the gift, to be the gift, to give of our gifts. Because I love what Tony Robbins says, the secret to living is giving. The secret to living is giving. But giving what? Giving of ourselves. Giving from our essence. As I say in French, nos dons d'essence. We have to give of our inner essence. That is who I think we came to be. But it doesn't matter. I mean, we really could be in some sort of recall reality. Who knows? I haven't got it. I don't know. I just like to tell myself that I'm in a matrix. I'm here to generate energy. I can generate any kind of energy I want, because as long as I'm generating energy, the matrix, the Maya, it all keeps on going. The whole mirage that I'm always following somehow is still always in front of me. And since it's a mirage, it means it's somehow mentally induced. And because the mirage that I'm somehow becoming, following, chasing after, the Maya that I'm already within, the Maya and the mirage, all of that gives way to the mystical abilities of life to be able to enjoy, to be, to do, to have, to enjoy. And as a matter of fact, there's a famous saying in personal development: be, do, have. It's better to be that we can do and then have. But instead of have, I just prefer to say enjoy. I don't necessarily need to have anything, because I just like to enjoy what I get to enjoy while I get to enjoy it. So some people call that detachment. And it's all good. It really doesn't matter. We get to do whatever the heck we want somehow, because we are free. We are somehow free. And with our freedom comes free will. And it's not that there's a price to pay for it. I love the idea of everything being energy, and we get to choose which energies we are going to be accompanied by, because since everything is energy, that means in this whole quantum super whatever, I can concentrate on, well, I want to be clothed well. You can tell that's not really the case, is it? I could concentrate on, I want to be fed well, or I want to drink well. Well, one of my most important things, and this is the point, if we could choose some priorities, one of my top priorities when I left Paris a few years ago was I wanted to see the sea every day. Not only did I want to see the sea, I wanted to see the sunset on the sea. The sunset on the sea. So it's a very logical thing. I need to be someplace that's west facing. So if we can figure out, and see the word figure out, that leads to the freedom of choice, right? The beauty of choice is so huge. And I don't think that we have the wherewithal. We don't have the fathom. We cannot fathom freedom. We don't have the wherewithal to grasp, to mentally grasp the beauty of the freedom that we truly do have, because we have super choices. We really do. It doesn't matter where we think we are in life. And it's not that we want to compare, but we tend to. So since we do, why not compare in a better fashion? So instead of comparing all the time to who we are, and what we're doing, vis-a-vis compared to all the other people, What if we only compared ourselves with our former selves heading towards our future selves? So think about our former self heading towards our future self. Well, I am super thankful for my former self and all of the stuff I went through and all of the great times I had, all of the adventures I partook in, all of the amazing people I met. I'm just honest, all of the gracious and gorgeous girls I've been with, women, ladies, whatever. It's always been majority. Thank you so much. I still like women, feminine women. And so I'm very blessed to have been able to participate somehow in a smorgasbord of beauty, of culture, of languages. I mean, I've lived in 10 different countries, and in every country I was very blessed, or 11 countries. And in every country I was very blessed to have been able to enjoy, except India. I've never been with an Indian woman. But that's okay. But in all of the other countries, I was very blessed to be able to enjoy some of the local hospitality, if we could say that. And anyway, that's an aside. That's a beautiful aside. But what I'm saying is, our former selves and our future selves gives us the freedom for this self. Think about this: our former self, our future self, helps us relish, fathom the freedom that we've got. Fathoming freedom. Can we imagine what that means? No, we can't. We have no idea what it means to be free. I mean, think about it. I love my silly little pens. Okay, now think about this pen. What had to happen for this pen to come about? Well, first of all, I changed the top because you can see this one's red. But that one really is red. But I changed it with another pen because I've got like 30 of these things. But I changed the top. This and this part are original. But on this pen, it's a limited edition Keith Haring pen. Okay, so great. So that means that Keith Haring had to be an artist, but he's dead. So that means someone else had to go get his rights to be able to put his stuff on this pen, which is a Caran d'Ache pen. Caran d'Ache. It's Swiss made, so it's still made in Switzerland. Now, the great thing is the ink that's inside there, it's a ballpoint pen that I can change with any of the other pens, and so I could have pens of different colors. Yes, this one writes in red. This one actually writes in black. And this one writes in blue. And I typically, I love a trinity of things. And so when I write, I can mix up the colors. I'm not an artist in the traditional sense because, well, I don't like draw. I'm a words, I draw with words. I draw images. I paint images in the profundity of your mind. I love to put the pixels. I pen pixels. How's that? I pen pixels. That's actually, I'm gonna write that down. I pen pixels. I pen pixels. See, I'm fortunately quite inspired. I don't know how inspiring I am, but that doesn't matter. But I am inspired, and I keep on trying to. I'm a poet, and as this amazing life is unfolding, I like to keep on going and keep on trying and keep on delivering, and you know, there's so many great words with this Franco-Anglo idea, because even the word deliver, right? It's deliver. It literally means to bring to, right? But in French, délivrer means to free from. So isn't that amazing? The play on words, and this is the great part of me being poetic, because I can use both sides at the same time. I mean, I see the word délivrer, I see the word crier, I see the word patron, I see all these words that do not mean the same thing in French and English. As a matter of fact, they're somehow the antipodes, right? They're almost the polar opposites. Not that I believe in polar opposites, but they mean something quite different. It's almost like the synthesis and the antithesis and the hypothesis. No, anyway, it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is, it's beautiful to immerse ourselves in another culture. And when we do that and we concentrate on something else, we're actually getting the best of both worlds. Because there's the famous saying, to kill a bird or kill two birds with one stone, right? And although it's not necessarily possible, I love the idea of trying to somehow garner the leverage or arbitrage and leverage to somehow be able to. I don't like the expression of kill two birds with one stone, but I do love the idea of how we can accomplish twice as much at the same time. So by living in a foreign country, we we get rid of some old habits by quitting the old comfort zone. We get to leave the old comfort zone. And when we exodus, when we go out, when we move out into the world, movement is huge. Well, the new surroundings, the new environment is going to help us to be inspired by novelty, and we need new. We need new. New keeps us young, actually, somehow. Somehow, the fact that we get to relish new stuff, delight in different things, we can celebrate life easier. And for me, the whole point of this is, even on the worst case scenario, we're in a matrix and we're just here like a battery, like in the matrix. We're just like a battery in the matrix. Well, we get to generate energy, and this is the beauty, any way we want. We get to choose how we want to generate energy. Now, isn't that a beautiful thing? Even if we're all just slaves in the matrix, even if we're all just like a little battery in the matrix, isn't it great that we get to choose how we are going to dispense of our energy, how we are going to generate energy? Because as we go forth, it is somehow like this ebb and the flow, right? The high tide and the low tide, the ebb and the flow. What about that point right in the middle? Be a gyroscope. If we get to be a gyroscope, it doesn't matter if the earth really does exist. It doesn't really matter if it's a 23-degree slant or a 26-degree slant, or if there really is a moon, or if we've ever been to the moon, or if the moon is just a satellite. None of it really matters, because if we are in a matrix, it doesn't matter if we're under a voûte, Celeste. It doesn't matter if we're under a vault. It doesn't matter if we're under a firmament. It doesn't matter if we're under heaven. It doesn't matter if the earth is flat, round, whatever. If we're in a matrix and we are here to generate energy, isn't that amazing that we get to generate the energy somehow of our choosing? How about of our calling? So back to this word dharma. Yes, I have a very mosaic style, which is why it's better to re-listen to my videos and share them. Anyway, and I've been saying that for 16 years, share my video, pass them on. Anyway, this idea of dharma. Dharma then is when we somehow live by, through, and thanks to our inner calling. Now, with our inner calling, there's like an outer marketplace. And apparently in today's world, we want to, we need to, we better deliver value to the marketplace. Well, call the marketplace the matrix, okay? So on a super, super essential level, and this is huge. I'm gonna actually record this myself because this is so flippin' amazing. Okay, anyway. I'm recording for my own self. We, at the most basic level, if we imagine that we're in a matrix, and there's 0 likes, which is amazing. There's 8 people and 0 likes, and I'm doing this in English for a change. But anyway, we get to generate energy. On the most basic level, if we're in a matrix and we're like little batteries or little slaves in a mental matrix, whatever it is, we still have free will and free choice, and we get the freedom, if we can fathom our freedom, of generating the energy that we would like to generate for the matrix. As long as we are generating energy, thanks to emotion, thanks to inspiration, in my case, most people are in suffering because that creates emotion. As long as we create, generate, and give off emotion, guess what? That means that we are generating energy. And if we're generating energy, the matrix likes us. So I say that going from my dharma to the outer world to the market matrix, the matrix of the market, there's a marketplace out there that we need to give energy to. Well, apparently we have to give value. And when we give value to the market rewards us, and we like these rewards. I think somehow too many rewards might spoil the soup. I know, and it's not that I'm a minimalist, it's just that I like the fluctuations, right? So I like the variety. I used to love amusement parks where they had what they called in French montagne russe, roller coasters. Now, it's funny that they say montagne russe. I've never been to Russia, and I don't know what the mountains are like there. But anyway, so the idea then that we go from our inner calling, our dharma, our our own personal purpose, if we will, our inner calling, our own inner voice, because we have to sing somehow. We have to sing a song. The word dream used to mean sing, like a dream maker was a singer, a maker. So it's up to us to sing our dreams somehow, which is why I love playing the guitar and I love playing music, but we get to sing our dreams. So in the word dream, there's almost the word dharma right in there, right? So we have our dharma, we have our dream, and then we have the diaspora, which is out there in front of us. We have whatever that is, the devil in front of us, whatever it is, but we have the matrix, we have the digital nowadays, we have the digital in front of us, from our dharma to the digital. When we give to the Maya marketplace, when we give to the matrix, when we give to that mirage that's always out there in front of us somehow, when we go in the direction that we would like to, because apparently there are 360 directions if we were on a flat plane, but guess what? Guess what? There may be some angles, which is why we have some montagne russe, like we have roller coaster stuff, like we have hills and valleys, sea level, altitude, etc. So thanks to all of this relief, well, we get to retry and we get to constantly be re-strengthening ourselves. And if we go back to the old school days, we did learn the arithmetic. We learned how to read and how to write. Well, guess what? The arithmetic is the math, which is the most honest thing that we could ever calculate. So how many arithmetic sequences do you know? Let me just give you a couple real fast. 0 and 1. If this is a big matrix, a computer code, well, apparently 0 and 1 is all we need. That's all we need. But if you're not a coder, you might want to learn how to count to 9, okay? 9 is a super fun thing to count to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did you notice it started with 0? And then it goes 10, which is the 0 and 1 once again. Otherwise, there are other systems. You can go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We can go by 2s. We can go by 5s. Or my favorite is the Fibonacci system, where it goes 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, which is apparently one of the most sacred numbers around because it's 12 times 12. And we know that 12 appears everywhere. 12 astrological signs, the 12 works of Hercules, the 12 ribs on each side. How about that? How about that? How about that? The 12 apostles. 12 is just such a magical number. And 13, most people have what they call triskaidekaphobia. So triskaidekaphobia, why do people have triskaidekaphobia? Because apparently they're leaving the number 12. Or maybe they're getting into another sequence and they are not used to it yet. But guess what? Just by starting something new, just by moving, if we change our environment, we change our surroundings, it makes us more somehow adaptable because we are adaptive creatures. You know, it's almost as like our base thing was survival. Okay, imagine that we all have this, it's like an efficiency of effort thing, right? We have this efficiency of effort thing. Most people call it laziness. If it's sloth, that's gone too far, but we are kind of lazy. But if we recognize that we are pretty lazy, that means we need some sort of inspiration or motivation. I'm. Inspiration, motivation. Oh, how about that? Motivation is like the fear that can push us, and it's also the carrot that drives us in front. So the carrot and the stick. But for me, inspiration is purely, it's aspiration. It's pulling me forward. It's inspiration. It's what I want to give because I have found the freedom that I get to give. I get to give. Can you imagine getting to give? Can you imagine how beautiful it is getting to give? Fathoming freedom means we get to understand, somehow conceptualize with our little cerveau or our little cranium. It's the Greek word emikran. So it's the crane. How do we say it? Cranium. Thank you. Cranium in English. There we go. So we have our little cranium, and inside the cranium, there's apparently like 3 different brains. A reptilian brain that's always in fear. Okay, super. Then we have a covering over that brain. I forgot what it's called, the amygdala or whatever, that's in the brain. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Then we got the 2 hemispheres, right? So we have this brain stuff. There's three main brains going on inside of our head, inside of the cranium. There are three brains. So one of those brains is the fear-based brain that's only working on survival that we get to overcome. And by overcoming it, it's how we're giving the first oof to the energy field. And when we give that first oomph to the energy field, then it propels us on. We get a little élan, as we say in French, an élan. And when we continue with the élan, it's like the starting point, but like actual movement that starts, then getting past that second brain, we can get into momentum. And then we've got the right and the left, which is going to help us with the emotional and creative side, or with the logical and reasoning, rational, arithmetic side. Guess what? Guess what? It's most people, and this is a huge secret, most people are stuck in what's called duality. It's as if they have to choose between their right brain and their left brain. The right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. Well, how about the upper and the lower? Come on, give me a break. Go sit in the RAS, which sits right between the two hemispheres. It's like the filter. Just think of like the number 8, but like the little point where it comes back and crosses again. That's the RAS, which means we get to loop forward and loop back. So thanks to our past information, we could also reprogram it, retouch, refilter, realign, recalibrate where we want to go. We could take all the crap that we learned in school and take what's needed, and then from there we can start using the arithmetic, the reading and the writing to rewrite our future. This is such an amazing thing. My gosh, if only we had a clue how huge the possibility is in this moment in time. If we could just fathom our freedom, fathom freedom, the free will, the choice, and all that comes from our former self to our future self. Our former self to our future self is right here. This is the freedom where we get to help direct where we want to go. And if we have an aim in life, if we have certain objectives, or if we have goals, use the word goal as an acronym. Find out why goal for you should mean something way more. Because who cares about a stupid goal that most of us picked up from society? It's like school. School gave us the goal, get a good job, and then work until you're 65 and retire and then go play. No, I'm sorry, when you're 65, you ain't gonna be able to go play, because we are creatures of habit, and breaking old habits is super tough. That's why it's so important to get that first little élan. Look up the word élan, E-L-A-N. In French, on dit l'élan. Il faut prendre de l'élan. Il faut se lancer. So we have to launch ourselves. We literally have to launch ourselves, because, in the old days, they said the first step of a journey is half the battle, or whatever, or the Greeks used to say something along the lines, starting is half of everything. Starting is half of everything. Well, it's so true, because we have to get that first step. We have to move forward. And one of the keys is the cheese. The cheese. There's a great book called Who Moved My Cheese? And well, the cheese has been moved and it keeps on moving. Everything moves. Everything is in movement. So it's better for us to be in movement. Survival is what? What is survival? It's trying to keep the same little boat afloat. I'm sorry, kids. They released us in a dinghy. It's up to us to create the boat that's going to come in for us. I don't care about yachts. I don't care about a dinghy. I don't care if you're on a paddle. It doesn't matter. It's a choice. It's a choice, because whatever you're doing, you're creating energy for the matrix market. You're creating energy no matter what you're doing. So don't you get the beauty of our former self created energy a certain way? But now we have the choice, if we could fathom our freedom, to make our future self filter forward what we want. So this is why the RAS is so huge. This is why my book, Protonic Speaking, is... It's huge. Protonic Speaking. You see the name of my channel, Lucralover. Put Lucralover in Amazon. I don't like to do advertising like that, but it's free, for God's sake. It's free. It's free. It's free. Pardon, I don't like to curse either part. Sorry. Please forgive. Anyway, it's a choice. And that's one of the most beautiful things on this planet, Earth, reality, galactic, whatever we're in. We do have some semblance of freedom. The more we can fathom freedom, the more we realize that we need that former self because it's what helps us to see that we're on course. Of course, it's great to let us, if we know where we want to go, most people don't realize that we can choose. So just pick a few little points in front of us. Pick 18 days in front of us. Pick 18 months in front of us. Pick 18 years in front of us. Pick 3 points. Just write down 3 little goals. In 18 days, I would love to just be able to reduce my sugar by half. Whatever. In the next 18 months, I would like to be able to double my money. Whatever. In the next 18 years, I would love to be able to really have some incredibly powerful personal relationships. Whatever it is for you. I'm just saying, just fun stuff for me. And I'm very thankful in 2024, the last semester of 2024, I really cut down a lot on the sugar. Not easy because I was in Saint-Tropez and man, there's some really great pastry. And I'm in France. I love the French pastries. Anyway, I hope you get a lot out of this. Watch the video. I don't care what you do. I don't care about you liking, subscribing. I really don't. I seriously don't. I do this because I need to give. This is how I give energy into the market, into the matrix, into the mirage in front of me, in the Maya that's around me. And I'm telling you, if you follow my advice of moving to a new place, new surroundings help us become new people. We need newness to stay young somehow. It's a choice. I'm offering you a possibility. I'm just trying to water whatever seeds someone else might have even already planted. Anyway, I will, if you speak French, I am starting something next week. Every Tuesday and Friday on this channel in English, I do put out certain content to help people because I have 2 French daughters and because I love the French and I'm very thankful for the French. I would like to give back to all I've gotten from France, although that's impossible because I've received so much. It's made me the man who I am today, thanks to France. Vive la France, vraiment, vive la France. I'm trying to give back. I have crazy ideas like starting the 8th Republic. People will say, wait a minute, we're only on the 5th Republic. Exactly. So, I have some fun ideas and I would like to really start doing some huge things. Actually, let me reword that. I'm starting to do some huge things. Announcing it on this is one of the ways I'll do it. Who knows? I'm gonna try and see if I could get a little bit back to my anglophones of my English on this channel. It's French, Tuesdays and Fridays, 11 o'clock. I'm in French. Okay, but let's see if maybe on some other days I could do it in English and see what happens. This was a test. So let me see here. I've got Angelika Orakel. Good morning. Guten Morgen von Deutschland. Ja, danke sehr. Willkommen. Willkommen. Willkommen auf meiner Kanal. David Ballantyne, can you give me money? Of course I can give you money. For every €1, for every €5 you send me, okay, no, it's for every €100 you send me, I'll send you back 5. I can give you money. David, give me your money. Well, give me yours. Okay. Or I'm giving you ideas on how to create money as well. So keep following and you'll have plenty of ideas. Go read my book, Pay Yourself First. It's free if you're on Amazon Prime. Ben Dover, isn't that cute? Ben Dover. Oh, I love the English jokes. Good morning. Hello, Ben Dover. Do you read the comments or you just yap on my own? I yap on my own until I'm done yapping and then I read the comments. How do you like that? So I'm here. If you're still here, Ben Dover, then I will gladly interact with you for a second. Oh, do you just write comments and then take off? Can you stick around on anyone's and watch their whole thing? Can you do that? Huh? How about that for a thing? I've been going for 40 something minutes now. Anyway, it's all good. I'm thankful. I'm saying merci la vie. It's noon. It's quiet. Let's just enjoy this breath. Think about 3 things. 3 things that we can be grateful for today. Or for our former self or for our future self as we fathom freedom today. I'm thankful for being able to do this in English because think of three things to fathom freedom. One could be our former self, one could be our future self, and the filter, which is fathoming our freedom today. I'm very thankful to be able to do this in English. I love doing it in French. It's great doing it in French as well, but I'm very thankful to be able to do this. So I hope you're breathing well today. Oh, wait, bend over. Well, I'll unsubscribe you if you stop yapping. Ben, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. I'm giving out a heck of a lot of information. If you really follow what's here, it can benefit you more than your one subscription can benefit me. And it doesn't matter. I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for all that is. We're in a matrix, my friend. It doesn't really matter. Now, if you can get me 1,000,000 subscribers, then I might be somehow influenced. You know what I'm saying? Because then I know there's some market value to what's going on. The matrix wants our energy. I'm just happy to give what I can. I do what I can with what I've got. And I'm saying thankful for it all along the way. Hopefully, I'm remembering to say thankful. When it's my last second to go, I hope the last thing on my lips is merci. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm Ravi. Be the gift. Je suis ravi. Cherchons nos dons d'essence. Anyway, if you speak French, every Tuesday and Friday at 11:11, I do this in French. I see that there's a few people here in English. So if I could somehow get my channel back in English, I will gladly give in English on, what's today, Wednesday? I might be able to do something on every Wednesday or something like that. We'll see. Depends on the results because my time is just as precious as everyone else's, but I realize how precious my time is. I'm thankful to have some sort of inkling of how beautiful it is to have these moments. Thank you. Je suis ravi. Ensemble, on est enlevé. So together, we can become enlightened. Be the gift. I'm Ravi. Enjoy. Thank you for coming.